Well, that's it. I looked everywhere, but I can't seem to find the games that I wanted to talk about. What happened? I can't talk about crappy games all the time. How do other people do it? Wait a minute. Didn't I hire a previously unmentioned character behind the scenes to look after my stuff? Yeah, I'm gonna go check up on Tambourine. Hey, yo, Tambo, we're gonna have to talk. Oh, there you are.
Oh, hey, Buzz. How's it going?
Yeah, hey, Tambourine. Considering this is your first video appearance and all backstory I have is that I hired you to look after my video game collection while I'm not around. Now, you see, I seem to be missing a lot of the good games that I've collected over the years. What's up with that?
Oh, well, if I have your good game. It's right over here.
Whoa, great, yeah. Wait, game, as in singular. Not plural, like a lot of them.
Oh, well, yeah, you hired me to look after your good game, right? Right?
No, look, I hired you to look after my entire collection of games. How in the world could you miss that and only think to look after one game?
Well, I figured I'd have a look at them one at a time, and that way I would have more focus.
Okay, so I'm missing my best games. So, what am I gonna do for my next video then, huh? You know, this isn't getting any easier.
Well, you could take a look at that one that I've been looking after.
Oh, right. And which one is the... Okay, alright. It's been a while to do this, but I can keep myself calm, composed, and begin. Hello! And today on eHeroes, I'm going to be talking about not only one of the best Mega Man games of all time, but one of the best games of all time, Mega Man 3! Yeah! Woo! Yeah! Woo! Woo! Mega Man 3! Mega Man 3! Woo! Woo! Yeah! 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 Mega Man 3! Mega Man 3! Mega Man 3! Okay, I know that's a little biased, but it brings up an interesting point. I like it that when gamers generally talk about their favorite games, it will, most of the time, be the games or consoles they first experienced or grew up with the most. And, well, why not? I think there's something right to it. Sometimes the most hoard experiences for the most experienced gamers are the most memorable for newer gamers. We take that for granted, I suppose. Younger players have that naivete, while, hey, maybe as years go on, they get a little too judgmental because of their past experiences. They want that greatness. They want that first experience again and again. So in a sense, I guess that's why we keep seeing the same thing over and over again today. Okay, maybe I'm going a little off course here. This is just a personal thing I noticed. And anyway, it's relevant because I'm going to be talking about one of my first and favorite gaming experiences. Mega Man 3. Yeah! Finally continuing this retrospective. I mean, what can I say? After having played most of the series library, the third one is a very well-balanced game. Up to this point, the series had time to cook. They had a method, and now it's time to bring all that to its full potential. The controls feel very smooth. There's a definite difficulty curve that's just the right amount, and the further you play in the new additions, like sliding and manageable powers, work well for it. Plus, you get a doggy. Who's a good dog? You are. One would think that I have absolutely no complaints about this game whatsoever. Well, Alright, let's be fair here. While I find the third title to be one of the strongest in the series by far, I do think that it has a few disadvantages. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it does somehow seem to show that it's partially complete. Some moments seem programmed awkwardly, or given enough finesse. But given that in mind, it doesn't hinder on the game at all. It just shows that perhaps they weren't able to put in enough given the time that they had to make it. Most of the games before it were given ludicrously short schedules to develop, and I almost wish I could sit down with some of the artists involved and ask, what did they want to put in it that they just couldn't? But who knows, maybe I'm just being a conspiracy theorist.
It's Robot Rebellion and nobody's safe, least of all Mega Man. Then wouldn't he be the last choice to fight these robots? This time, the super powerful cyborg again, takes on a horde of metal maniacs who've had it with being obedient. Oh, I've just about had it. And they use every android annihilator ever invented to make you believe it. Android, I thought he was a cyborg. Mega Man goes berserk. Why does Mega Man go berserk? Blasting through a galaxy of mining stations in search of energy crystals. But it takes more than guts to battle the phenomenal robot masters who control these worlds. It's a wrenching job. The worst. Okay, and the best that Mega Man's faced so far. What? The worst and the best. Whatever.
The story is thus. Dr. Wily, who had 2 times attempted world domination with evil destructive robots, reforms, and teams up with Dr. Light to create a giant peacekeeping robot, of which I fail to see the peacekeeping qualities of a gigantic robot. But they need energy crystals, which are mined in planetary mining facilities helmed by robots. But these robots suddenly go berserk, and it's up to Mega Man once again to fight them off. Also, what the hell does this mean? If you start falling, press the control pad up left or up right, you might be able to save yourself? When I was a kid, I had no idea what this meant, and I still don't. But if you press right on the second controller, you can make Mega Man jump higher, and that's just cumbersome and weird. If you figure out the boss weaknesses, you can breeze through the game pretty quickly, as they do tend to be a little overpowering towards their respective robot masters. That's not to say it's any different than any other game, I just noticed it more so in this title, especially with the Wily stage bosses. So with that said, let's run down the third series of Robot Masters as how I usually run through them. This guy is always my first choice because it was literally my first choice. I don't know what it is about Magnet Man. His look has always been appealing to me. Magnets and electricity elements are perfect against a metallic hero and easily became a favorite of mine. I mean, my first impression of him was from this poster. Look at it. He had these shades with absolutely no visible expression. He's the epitome of what kids considered cool. Little did I realize this was a huge disconnect from his true design, but I still think he looked awesome. I remember him being pretty tough at first, and I took a few tries to memorize his pattern, and soon enough he's taken down easily with the normal weapon. But don't worry, Magnet Man, you're still cool in my book.
I admit that's an easy joke, but at the same time...
Hardman is all about strength and power, and he uses his rocket-powered fists to do the talking. Husked with a heavy coat of metal, it seems fitting that magnets would be his downfall. Wherever he moves, his thick hide will be followed. So I cast Magnet Missile.
Will I get drunk?
Okay. One thing I never got is that when he slams onto the ground, even if I'm jumping, I'm completely stopped and frozen. And something about this seems like a bit of a technical miss. Remember when I was talking about the programming errors earlier? But nevertheless, he's taken down by exploding magnets. I should also mention in his stage, when I first encountered this giant pillar, I didn't even know I had to use Rush Coil, which you have by default. So... You know, it's kind of weird seeing a top-themed stage. I'm not exactly sure where this fits into the world of the mining facilities things, but who's the judge at this point? Once we've ran through a bottomless pit of thick lasers jutting out from nothingness, the suspension of disbelief is validated. However, let's talk about Top Man. He tosses tops and spins around. One would question the purpose of such a robot. Is he a pizza spinner? Is he a high-powered impact wrench? Is he an entertainer for Hanukkah celebrations? Whatever the case he may be, he gets a punch in the face, so hard knuckle. Shadow Man, the stealthy, jumpy and slidey ninja within some sort of molten lava factory with constant power outage can be taken down by a rotating robot.
So I know everyone says that top spin can be the worst weapon in any Mega Man game, but that's a little subjective. I've seen people blow through the entire game using it, and I will admit that's a bit difficult to master, and I'm still questioning its hit marks to this day.
I mean, dang, darn! Sometimes I can whisk Shadow Man into mush with one hit, but other times? Yikes, man! But either way, it's mighty powerful, and in a mighty tornado, I mightily toss him out of a mighty arena with top spin might! Keep twirling, twirling, twirling towards freedom! Alright, hang on. Let me stop for a minute. Listen to that song. Just listen to it. It is easily one of the best songs in the game. But hang on, gotta take a moment to just revel on the soundtrack. Take this from a guy who grew up with this kind of music. This was mesmerizing. And I grew up in the age of Michael Jackson. No. This was my melodic idol. 8-bit harmonies all the way. The happy introduction of Magnet Man's realm. The distressing power of Snake Man's pit. The foreboding sound of the depths of Dr. Wily's castle. I literally taped my own recording and listened to each track over and over as a kid. Gemini Man's theme was my thriller. Needle Man's theme was my bad. Shadow Man's theme was my dangerous.
You know what? Y'all can keep your Sonic 3. My true king of pop is, and always will be, in MMJ3. Wait, where the hell was I going with this?
Oh, yeah. Sparkman. He's a big spark plug. He's got metal spikes for arms. He gets taken down by sharp throwing things. Next.
Wait, hang on. I need to check up on my strategies here for a minute. Oh, wait, that's right. Every time I reached Snake Man, he was never weak to any of the weapons that I had previously obtained at this point.
In fact, this was probably the first and only times there isn't one whole clear rotation for all 8 Robot Masters' weaknesses. You'll always start with one, but the rotation will always end up where you have to fight 2 Robot Masters with your normal weapon. Some Robot Masters will show slight weaknesses to certain powers, but their true weaknesses aren't even out. So we got Magnet, Hard, Top, Shadow, Spark, but Magnet Man is actually weak to Spark Shot. Then Snake Man, Gemini Man, and Needle Man, because Snake Man is most weak to Needle Cannon. I have no idea why this decision was, but it is pretty different and it hasn't been utilized in any of the other games. Oh right, yes, Snake Man. Again, losing track here. But we have a freaking facility made of robot snakes. So a snake factory? Who works here? I mean, snakes. Why did it have to be snakes? It certainly is one of the most memorable stages by far because it's so weird. But yeah, anyway, practically takes the same amount of damage to use Spark Shock as it does the arm cannon, because, well, that's all it could do. And that makes him one of the toughest challenges, because one, his pattern is very difficult to master, considering his movements and the unstable staging of the room, but with patience, he's down. Just like the cowardly snake he is! Wow, now we're in some very obscure territory. This is where I believe the outer planetary mining concept of the story is most obvious. We've gone from wire piping, glass-covered jungles, to a crystal cliffside that leads towards a shining, veiny, pulsing cavern filled with flying tadpoles. For some reason, Snake Man's stage seems a little bit more believable. After sloshing through the watery crevasses, you can easily take Gemini Man's double down with little robot snakes. So I guess this robot's horoscope is a double dribble. Yeah? Lastly, we have Needleman. He has spikes and a building, and it goes down with 4 lasers. Pew pew. And that thing is a hedgehog. And that's...
One moment. I'm being told by the powers that be that I'm neglecting another element of this game. A rather important element that the fan base would be furious if I neglected to mention it. Yet I'm not quite sure what that is.
Yeah, I get it. Let's talk about everyone's favorite character, Proto Man. You know, I never really understood the appeal of this guy at the time, and as I never really read in his somewhat tragic backstory when I first played this game. But what I saw was some jumping idiot who I get annoyed by a few times every stage I see him in. I never understood why he fights you and then randomly just helps you another time. He's a very conflicted addition in the series, but to be fair, he's a very memorable character given his mystery. And honestly, that's kind of what I like about him. I didn't know who he was, why he was there, what exactly the story was behind Breakman. It started to make the wheels turn, and we made our own conclusions despite its actual intentions we read later on. Unbeknownst to Mega Man, Breakman is actually Mega Man's brother Blues, who he thought died in a tragic car accident, and is now racing against him as Racer X. Alright, so all the Robot Masters are done. We can move on and fight Dr. Wily for a What's this? All of a sudden, these mysterious figures had taken over 4 stages!
Mega Man 3 is the start of what I would like to call the second castle tradition that followed in the series. Before the final Dr. Wily castle stages, there was yet another threat of whatever happened to be the extent of the game length.
Given that in mind, these are the stages that challenge your skills and experiences and up the stakes. You are forced to use your provided Rush companion abilities in both air and water, and it keeps you on your toes as stages you previously experienced are given new challenges mixed with the familiar. Hey, here's kind of a weird technicality I noticed. While using Rush Jet, you can actually lengthen the energy use by continuously jumping while you're using it. It's like Mega Man's feet are what keep Rush working too hard.
Oh, this ultra-sensory nose of mine? Mega Man, take a hint, wash your feet!
Anyway, each new stage carries 2 Doc Robots. And you know what these guys are? They carry the powers and movements of all previous Robot Masters from Mega Man 2. That was like, whoa. I not only got 1 game, I got 2, and that little extra oomph is what really gave the game some extra challenge. And then after a short break, Breakman, kid. Shut up! We finally reached the reformed Dr. Wily. What I love about these sets of stages is that everything seems so much more foreboding. You go in through the dingy sewers, deep within the darkened mechanical caverns with zombified robots, and even the music is creepy and moody. But we finally reach it. The biggest, most threatening robot you've ever faced. The powerful Peacemaker Gamma! And, well, he can be taken down pretty easily. And with top spin, no less. A bit anticlimactic, but despite that, man, it was pretty satisfying considering your journey up to now. With all the interesting sights, sounds, and challenges to this point, it's worth it to crush that big baby. See, this is what I was saying. I feel that there was supposed to be more to it than what it came to be. But despite all of that, I am still blown away by the entire experience. It has a lot going for it, and it's as wonderful as I remember it when I first held that NES controller. Now, I know it may not be the absolute best game in the world, let alone in the series, as I'm certain there are many other opinions on that alone, but it's great to a lot of people who experienced it in the same way as me. And that's what really gets me. Despite the memories, despite my personal experiences, despite all the hype going into it before I even played it, and even despite all of the criticisms I have over the elements that seem unfinished, it was, and still is, possibly one of the best Mega Man games in the franchise. Not because it was following formulas, because it was adding to what was already great and made it even better. The simple addition of sliding seems minuscule, but it actually helps the notion of it being more innovative and progressive as a sequel and doesn't hinder the challenge. When Mega Man 9 and 10 were released, they followed the formula of Mega Man 2 because in their minds, that is what made Mega Man great. But in my personal opinion, as great as it was to bring back that kind of format, it wasn't just about bringing back those memories. It was taking that knowledge of the classic and making the notable additions and not subtractions. Every game since the beginning has added something, as little as it seemed. It didn't take much from the previous title and just went with new. New Robot Masters, new stage elements, new ways to play, new power-ups, additional gameplay elements. These are things that made the series grow more and more during its run, and has the potential to grow even more if it was given the chance. Because in my mind, it's not about the nostalgia, it's about growing with the series.
You know, I've come a long way ever since I popped this into my NES all those years back. And we all still have room to grow, room to learn. And with that said, I want my $10 refund, Capcom. Okay, Tambourine. As mad as I should be about my missing game collection, you're still on duty. So, the least you could do is still keep an eye on this one, and be careful with it. It's a gem, okay?
No problem, boss. Gee, you're so much nicer than that blue-haired guy that keeps coming by.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm gonna have to find some time to... Wait. Blue-haired guy?
Thank you so much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please check out my other videos. Also, please like, comment, and subscribe. And take a look at my Patreon to find out how to further help support my channel. Just remember that the more views and subscribers, the more I can continue making videos. Thanks again, and see you next time.